News.
And there are fears the current standoff could see ordinary Chinese people living here in Australia become stuck in the middle. Community leaders are calling for Beijing and Canberra to sort out their differences to avoid a flare-up of anti-Chinese sentiment.
Sam Wong has lived in Australia for more than 5 decades. He says China-Australia relations are now at the lowest he has ever seen.
As a Chinese Australian, I think it's a sad situation. I think if you look at the history of the relation between China and Australia, starting from Gough Whitlam, we have a very good basis for friendly cooperation.
G'day everybody,
Immigration Minister Alan Tudge met at short notice with Chinese community leaders last night to reassure them the actions of the Chinese Communist Party do not diminish Australia's respect for the Chinese diaspora here.
That tweet represented the views of the Chinese Communist Party alone and does not represent the views of the 1.2 million Australians who have Chinese heritage.
And today, the Prime Minister released a message on Chinese messaging app WeChat, where he reiterated his appreciation for the contributions of Chinese people in Australia. These moves have been welcomed, despite some in the community viewing the government's reaction to diplomat Zhao Lijian's tweet as playing into China's hands.
I think that many people in the community felt that, look, we shouldn't have taken the bait. You just don't feed the troll.
The press conference held by the Prime Minister is quite of an overreaction, considering that Zhao Lijian is relatively junior position in the Foreign Ministry of China.
For Sydney-based Uyghur activist Fatima Abdul Ghaffar, whose father disappeared in Xinjiang 4 years ago, only for her to find out recently he had died, the latest escalation by China is hypocritical.
Australia is getting the real taste of China. That's what they do. They lie and they attack and they never admit their own mistakes.
It's believed up to 1 million people, mostly Muslim Uyghurs, have been detained in so-called re-education camps in Xinjiang. Asian Australians, particularly of Chinese heritage, have reported an increase in abuse and racist attacks since the coronavirus was first detected in China. And community leaders are concerned the ratcheting of tensions between Beijing and Canberra will exacerbate anti-China sentiment.
Cool down a little bit, have a roundtable discussion and sort out the differences.
Lynn Evelyn, SBS World News.
And later in the bulletin,